Let's talk a little bit about celebrities. See, there's this misconception in society around the importance of estate planning. Many view it as something that is only essential for the ultra rich and famous, and nothing could be further from the truth. You would think that celebrities with all their money and access would always hire the best estate planning attorneys to ensure that their wealth is taxed as little as possible when transferred and to keep their affairs private. However, unfortunately, celebrities are just as capable of making mistakes in estate planning as any other person. The first example we're going to talk about is Prince. The music legend died unexpectedly in 2016 without a will. And without that legal document, his estate was split equally amongst his siblings, according to state law, but not before $100 million was lost due to estate taxes. Another case in point is singing icon Whitney Houston. She had a will, actually, that was drafted in 1993, but it was never updated as her estate kept growing and her fortune became more significant. So when she died in 2012, her estate was worth about $20 million, and that was transferred directly to her daughter in its entirety, Bobby Christina, when she turned 21. And unfortunately, at such a young age, she lacked the maturity to handle such a large inheritance, and ultimately she died from drug overdose at age 22. Had she taken advantage, Whitney, of trust funds instead of leaving everything under her will, she probably would have been able to provide more wisely for her daughter, Bobby Christina, without exposing her fortune to unnecessary taxes or publicity due to probate proceedings. Example number 3, Philip Seymour Hoffman. He also made a mistake with his estate plan. Despite the fact that he had set up a trust fund for his son after he was born in 2004, he failed to update the document with provisions for his daughters who were born later on, and so the bulk of his $35 million estate went unplanned for at his death a decade later, which resulted in an immediate $12 million tax bill for estate taxes that could have been avoided. His children were also left without specific plans set out by their father regarding their inheritances, and that potentially places them at risk for becoming trust fund babies or seeing their money get into the wrong hands down the road. Another example, Jim Morrison famously left everything he had upon passing away from a heroin overdose at age 27 to his then girlfriend Pam Corson. But since they weren't married, Pam couldn't take advantage of any marital deductions. So much of Morrison's intended fortune ended up actually going to Pam's parents instead of being split between his brother and sister as he had originally intended. And the last but not least of our examples is James Gandolfini. For you Sopranos fans, this was Tony Soprano. He spent time meeting with his estate planners ahead of his 2013 death, only a few months later. And yet, despite attempting to plan, the errors that were made cost him millions without proper measurements put into place prior, such as a trust. He too saw much of what he had worked hard towards during life lost due to unnecessary taxes after he'd gone to a tune of $30 million. So it's very clear from these examples that whether your net worth looks like Prince's or not, taking advantage of estate planning services can help you protect your assets and loved ones from unnecessary taxes and legal proceedings down the line. Make sure that you consult with qualified professionals today so that you can ensure your wishes can be carried out properly later on.